Um, let's get let's get started. So the topics that are included are the LWC component structure, then how do we create LWCs, and how the LWCs are based and structure is like created in the actual project directory. We'll cover that. Then we will explain the how the LWCs are imported or even exported to be used in different LWCs. And then we have Shadow DOM, which is actually it is a encapsulation method of in LWCs. How every LWC have its own Shadow DOM to actually be worked further on. Then we have Lightning Data Service, which is provided by Salesforce to actually mm, like work on the updation, and different DML methods without using any Apex. So let's get started with the LWC component structure. So currently, LWC have four files: HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and XML. So HTML file is used for our UI creation for HTML, our HTML items. Then its logic is controlled by JavaScript. Then we have CSS to give some custom styling, and the final file, which will be our meta file of that component, will be XML. Let me just open the VS Code to share. Now to create an LWC, you can either use VS Code with the CLI installed, or you can use the Lightning Studio extension on the Chrome. So in order to create the LWC, you have must have a project created. So you can easily press Control Shift P, then you can easily create a project with manifest. Now you have to select the standard project, then you add a project name. Let's say we are adding LWC training. Then select any folder. Let's say I'm saying LWC training, create project. So this is the project structure. So now the all the resources that are in our project mainly are in the Force app main default folder. So currently there are not all of the resources are already there, but these are the basic that by default we get. So there's an LWC. So in order to create an LWC, we'll go to the right click on the LWC, then create LWC. There is another method to create LWC using Salesforce CLI. You can easily write commands to create an LWC. So let's say I'm saying now hello world. As you can see now, by default, I got three files: the HTML file, then we have JavaScript file, which has a class uh, functionality, and then we have the XML file. So the XML file contains multiple key factors. So let's say this component is not exposed right now. Exposed mean that currently you're working on LWC that can be easily deployed to an org, but you have to expose it to be used on the UI. So let's say I'm using it, so I'm saying it true. So now it can be used on the UI. And here's an HTML. You can easily add any tag. Uh, there are some standard LWCs that you can easily use in this HTML, and you can always use the open HTML uh, as always. Hello SF community. Then we have JavaScript. You can easily add your custom logic. Let's say I'm adding the connected callback here. It's one of the lifecycle hooks of LWCs, and you can easily create any function with let's say sum, and you can easily use these sum functions inside the JavaScript itself and the uh, HTML as well. Yeah. Now the fourth file that I talked about was the CSS file. Now, if you are in order to add that, you have to add that separately. So gonna have the name of your error component, then click on the new file, then add, click CSS. Then you have your own CSS file. You can easily add, let's say, class 1 class, then add your CSS, let's say color, then add any color. Then you can easily use this CSS by copying the name and giving the class name here. So this will apply the CSS on this text. Now for deploying the code to your org, you have to connect your org. So in order to connect your org, you have to authenticate your org with the VS Code. Let's say I'm here connecting my dev org. So I already have a dev org. Um, you can easily create a dev org by going to, uh, let's say, Salesforce dev org sign up. And then you create a personal dev org. That looks like I'm getting some error. There's some error in the JSON file. Let me just, it's correct. Mm, Let me check this or connected currently. Orgalize. Yeah, let's use this one. Okay, I can easily deploy this component to this org, and this is deployed. So this is how we can create an LWC, and we have a structure of 4 files. Every file have a different functionality. Um, yes, you have. There are multiple methods to create an LWC. You can use VS Code or CLI, Lightning Studio, and there are different tools. Like there are different extensions to create an LWC. Then we have a shadow DOM. So this is a conceptual topic that every LWC have its own shadow DOM. So DOM is an actual document object model. So every page have its own DOM, and every component have its own shadow DOM to protect the component from different components, and also share as well. Depending on your use case, you can handle the functionalities of it. And it also encapsulate the inner DOM of the LWC. So let's say if another LWC comes in inside, let's say we were calling an LWC inside an LWC. So its shadow DOM will protect the child LWC, and it can also share the functionalities as well. So we can, let's say we are calling our child components function using this functionality. Then we have Lightning Data Service. So this is actually Salesforce standard functionality given in LWC. We can create, load, edit, delete all DML functionalities, even SOCL, without writing any Apex code, without writing any server code. They provide kind of extension that we import a library, record UI library. We import in LWC, like importing an library in any other language. Then we can easily use its functions like create record, update record. So we don't have to write any Apex code for that. Then we have handle sharing rule and field security. Yes, in Apex we have to consider sharing rules in order to define what kind of context our Apex class is running on. And then we have field level security. We have to keep in mind that whatever fields we are using in our Apex, like so we are doing any update on any field or any SOCL, we have to pre-check that if this field have the required field level security. So this Lightning Data Service actually handles all by itself. We don't have to write actually Apex code. Let me just give a demo of this to you. Now there's an app called LWC Recipes. You can easily get it on the Google. So it has all of the topics that are in the LWC. You can easily go to the tabs in the app, and you can see every topic has its own example LWCs with different variants with all topic covered. You can easily see, check on this. This is the component. Let's say I'm adding my name here, and this component is actually using the Lightning data service functionalities to create the record. Let's say I had it create record. So this will actually create the record. And if I go to the accounts, I think, yes, it is creating account. All, and it must have created my account. I'm not seeing any account. Let me just go and check out its code. Its name is LDS create record. Let me open in the Lightning Studio. There's the component. Uh, yes, it is using the UI record API in order to create the record, and it's using the components. This is the structure that we have to use in order to create a record. They are creating an object with the API name object of the API name, then the fields, whatever fields we are adding here. I think they only imported the fields like name and the object API name, and they are creating the object API name account ID. Account ID. I think, yeah, this is something. Let me check this. Handle change name account ID undefined. This should create the record. ID is undefined here. Yes, this created the record now. So here's the ID. So let me just check if this account is created. Yes, here's the account. So this is there are multiple methods in the Lightning data service. So this is only one of the method to create a record. You can easily update a record, delete a record. There's no need of Apex writing, but this is for like basic work. Like you have to update a record or create a record, basic fields and insertion. If you have a custom logic, then you have to like to go for the Apex. The next topic would be, that's it, I think. Yes. Any questions so far? Hello.
Thank you, Sneh. Let's wait for the attendees to share the questions. Or
Hmm.
I have already shared the link for developer org and the extension pack. So guys, before you go to VS Code and you write Shift Control Shift P, you will have to install this extension to the VS Code first, and you have to set up your VS Code to connect your org to deploy your components and all. And for Lightning Studio, this is also the extension on the Chrome. I can provide you the link as well. You can add it to your Chrome browser. Isn't can we add this to any other browser like Mozilla or
Yeah. Any
okay,
supportable browser. You can easily
okay,
add to Edge, Firefox,
yeah, okay,
Chrome.
cool. So yeah, if you are using Chrome, then you can add it to the Chrome. The benefit of using Lightning Studio, you cannot yeah, like you can directly deploy the changes to your org. You don't have to deploy and change, check the changes in the Salesforce org, in VS Code. So this is something that's why we, as a developer, when we are working on LWCs, we are using Lightning Studio. This is easy to use for LWCs and for the deployments, so we can check the changes in the runtime on while having the same browsers. So if you are not aware of any of the tool or name that we are just like using in the video or in the recording, you can just tell me or Hassan or Sneh, ask your question, not just in a call but on the group chat as well. We are here to help you and to learn together. I will also be sharing a pre-work because as per the vouchers team, they will be sharing some pre-works, some badges that we have to complete in order to get the voucher and to be eligible for the vouchers program. So I'll be sharing the assignment for this session and the pre-work badge from the for the certification team. So all clear? Is any questions, guys? You can just unmute yourself and ask your question as well. All good, I think.
Oh,
So
there's a question. What is the difference between creating a project with manifest and without the manifest file? So there, the manifest file. Let me just share. There is a manifest file here. There has a package XML. My screen is visible right now.
yes, we can see your screen.
Yes. So this package, this folder manifest actually gives you a package XML file, which will allow you to easily retrieve and deploy your components based on the types you have on in your in your directory. Let's say you are creating a project without the manifest, so you cannot have this functionality. So this functionality actually does what, let's say I have written here the apex class. So this is general type. Let's say I am working on a project. I don't want all of the classes in my package directory. I want only those classes that I have worked on. So I'll specifically mention the classes. Let's say I'm working on account controller. So account controller, then it will only retrieve. So members, I would this is the place to add the member name. So let's say I'm writing account apex controller. So this will only retrieve, we have to retrieve according to this retrieve source and manifest from the org. So whatever the types you have had added here, so static means all. So in order to retrieve, you can easily retrieve the whole manifest file in your from the org. So now the only Apex controller will be retrieved here from the Apex classes, but from the other components, if when wherever you added the static, all the components will be retrieved. This is especially used for deployment and retrieval from the org. You have if you have any explicit items, then you can easily use this package XML functionality. This is also used in packaging as well when you want to package specific types of items in from your org. Then that's it. Any other question that answers
There
your
is one
question?
question from Shivam regarding is
Hmm.
exposed tag. If you scroll down,
Yes.
yes.
What is the use of is exposed tag in the XML file? So I have covered that in the presentation, but let me just share this again. So let's say I'm by default this is false. So I'm creating an component that is is exposed false. So I cannot use it on the UI. I cannot see the component on the UI. Let me just give you a example. Let me just go to the in order to drop your LWC on your UI, you have to edit the page and open the app builder. Then you will have a canvas here. Let just load. So the custom LWCs here are being loaded now. So as you can see, all these LWCs are exposed right now. So I can easily click and drag and drop here. So the LWC that you have created, if you don't export it, then you cannot see it on the UI in order to like drop it on the page. And there is an reason for that. There is an explicit control to expose your component. Let's say you have two LWCs. One is a parent LWC, then we have a child LWC, meaning you are using a LWC inside an LWC for usability purpose and different use cases. So the child LWC does not need to be exposed. The parent one needs to be. because you will only drop parent and child will automatically called inside the parent. That's why the false functionality is there. You can easily expose or not expose according to your needs. Uh, Shivam, is any this is your answer question answered? Like any other question?
I
Let me
guess
just
yes,
check.
isn't it? So I would suggest that we should keep all the questions for the last so that we can complete it in time.
Okay.
So yeah, Hassan, we have
So thank
completed
you.
the
But
presentation and now we are on the QA session.
okay,
Yeah, topics were simple, so this didn't took any time. The further topics of in our next training will take some time, but these
okay,
were
sure.
some
So
basic
if
topics.
you want to go in some advanced topics right now, since we do have much time, so we can do that.
I can, sure.
Sure, sure, you can. So
Um,
let's just proceed with so that we can have a little bit of more time. Uh, and till then, if someone has any questions, we can just proceed with that.
is there any topic remaining, Isne, that we targeted for this session?
Let No, all the topics are already covered, but
Yeah.
these
So
were
I
all the
think
simple
Hassan,
Okay, great
that
then.
would
topics.
be good if
Yeah,
we go for
I
the
think
topics in the next
I think
sessions.
I missed this one, importing and exporting. I can
Okay.
cover one topic that I was like talking about it now, that parent to child. Now you can easily create some multiple LWCs that can run individually as well, and you can also collaborate and run the LWC inside an LWC. So there in this app, you can see as an example of parent to child, how you can communicate from parent to child. Let me just show you an LWC. So here's an LWC called LWC training, or you can use, let's use this one. Let me just find this component. I think this is not the name of it. Let me just get its name. Mm, this is API property name. API property. Here's the LWC. So now mm, this component have a controller that changes the percentage change, and there is a standard component lightning card. There's a card inside that we have a lightning input for the percentage handler. It's taking a percentage input. Let me just go back here. Here's in percentage input. It has a controller JavaScript which handles the control, and there's an event. So every change that happens in that input box, it fires an event. So we get that value from the event target.value. Then we have created a global variable here, percentage. So we're accessing this percentage variable by using this, and we have created a um, parent property or a global property by using a decorator called @API. So what this will do, that this expose this variable to be public so that it can be used by parent, or there is another functionality that you can expose it in your XML file as a target config. So what this will do, it will create a title property to be configured in your app builder. Let me just show you how this works. You can easily create your LWC dynamic by using this kind of functionalities. Like let's say we have a this component has a, both of these components are same, but this is have different title. Let's say LWC training, this is have LWC2. You can create LWCs according to that. Let's say you have a LWC you're creating for an account object, but you can have a target config added as object API name, so you can run that object on every object, any object. So this is how we create a dynamic LWC. You don't have to hard code the text inside your code. You just have to make it configurable. So this is config properties. We have then JavaScript. So inside that component, as you can see, there is a custom component that we already created, but we are calling it inside an LWC. So now this component will be a child component. This component's name is chart bar. Let me just show you. This is chart bar. So this component